Hey, welcome to another edition of Blue Jay Banner Today. It's December 26th. The season is Christmas, so it's actually November 6th, but close enough, right? Hey, thanks for watching. Hey, hit that subscribe and like button. Helps us out a ton. I hope you witnessed or viewed our post-game show last night, our first regular season post-game show. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll include a link when we shoot this out on X. We'll shoot the link out to the post-game as well, so you can take a look at it. We got a show today, Thursday. Tomorrow, we're going to have a best-of show. So be on the lookout for that. Might be something you've missed in the past, so take a look at that. And then today, we're going to just kind of recap last night, talk a little bit about the Coach Mac's post-game press conference, and then take a look at just some thoughts on the game. And then also, first up, we're going to take a look at Creighton sports this weekend because it's a huge, huge weekend for Creighton sports. So we want to get into that. All right, first up, let's talk about Infusion Brewing Company. You've heard us talk about them a ton. We want to thank them for sponsoring our show. They have a great lineup of beers, including Vanilla Bean, German Stout, one of my favorites, the Dill Pickle beer. It's great if you mix with Bloody Mary. Oh, fantastic. And now they have that whole fall lineup out. Obviously, we're well into fall. The ever-popular pumpkin beer is great. What don't we have nowadays that's not some kind of pumpkin flavor? This beer is outstanding. So check them all out at infusionbrewing.com. And you can also check out when their tasting rooms are open and so on and so forth. But check them out, infusionbrewing.com. Okay, let's talk about Creighton sports here. First up, the men. Wow, the men's soccer team has really come on. They are going to close out the regular season Friday night at Morrison Stadium, 6 p.m. What a huge match against Akron. This match is for the Midwest Division title. So get out there, support the Jays. I think the weather's supposed to be pretty decent, so get out, support the Jays, watch some great high-level soccer. Akron's always a top-notch program, and obviously are again this year. Jays with a real opportunity to win the Midwest Division, improve their seeding in the upcoming Big East tournament, which will kick off next week. So check it out. At 6 o'clock, Morrison Stadium, the men take on Akron. The women, some news. First of all, their season's complete. They're in the postseason as well. Ariana Mondiri was a first-team selection in the Big East. Congratulations to her. And Tori Gillis was second-team All-Big East. So those announcements came out this week prior to the Big East tournament, which kicks off today. Jays take on Georgetown. It's on ESPN Plus at 6:30. That's top-seeded Georgetown. Jays are a 4-seed. So check that game out. Not a whole lot else going on other than a little bit. No, there's a very weak college basketball schedule tonight. And the one NFL game, lately those Thursday night games have been clunkers. So check out the Jays on ESPN Plus at 6:30. But anyway, if they win, they move on, obviously, to match Friday. So congratulations to the Jays for making the Big East tournament. Huge accomplishment. They came from back in the pack and got in there. So let's see how they do here in the postseason. Let's see if they can pull the upset tonight. Volleyball, another huge weekend. The final home weekend, sadly enough, it comes and goes so quickly. Volleyball, Friday night, tomorrow night at 7:30. That game's on YouTube TV, and that's why there's a little bit later start. But 7:30 Friday night, Jays take on Nova. And then Sunday, they will take on I'm sorry, I think I got that backwards. They take on Georgetown. Sunday, they take on Nova. at 1:00. Anyway, the Jays are rolling. What a match last week against Marquette. Just a we've seen those before where they get down 2-1 and wow, they just take off. So tremendous victory, tremendous comeback. And geez, I'm just so impressed with the job Brian's done. He's just really done a terrific job. They got off to such a slow start, playing such a brutal schedule that, I think there was some doubt. Some people thought, because some of those matches weren't really all that competitive. And I think, there was some doubt, but I think Brian has really shown he's a top flight coach in this country. And none of that, you can tell the players love playing for him. Just there's that sense with the players when they're in press conferences with him, how much they enjoy Brian and the coach that he has become and done. And so congrats to him. Congrats to the team. By the way, I did have that correctly. Nova on Friday at 7:30. Georgetown on Sunday at 1:00. All at Sokol. So let's pack the place for the last two matches, and then they'll go out east, play, I think, Seton Hall and St. John's the final two, and then the Big East tournament kicks off. So let's keep rolling. They moved up to number 8 in the RPI. That's a big, if they can somehow run the table here, win the Big East, and then get a top 8 seed, so that would secure them home matches for the first weekend. If they can win that, they would get, would they get home matches a second? I believe they would, right? No, we'd be down. I'm sorry, we'd be down to 16. So, we would not be able to host. I'm sorry. What am I thinking? But anyway, that would get a nice seating going on. And it's not seated like basketball is. Coach Booth used to tell me about that all the time when I'd say something like that. So it's a little more done via, geographically, one could say. But let's say they're an 8 seed and we have some upsets, then there very much is a possibility that they could host the semifinals of the regionals. So let's just see what happens. So the higher we can get seated, the better, right? So anyway, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Let's get the Jays going and see if they can run the table here, which would be an incredible feat. Okay, now I'd like to take a second and wish our friend, colleague over at White and Blue Review, Matt DeMarias, all the best. Going through some health issues right now, and keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And Matt, hope to see you back at Creighton events very soon. He just does a fabulous job. He lives over there at the Creighton complex, covering all sports. So, Matt, get well, and we can't wait to see you soon. We are going to transition from the fall sports into basketball. The women, we didn't really have a chance to talk about this, but they went down to South Dakota State the other night. South Dakota State, an excellent team. So hoping the women bounce back here this week and get back on the winning trail. They take on Drake. It's at Drake, 4:00 on Sunday. So hopefully the women get back in the winning ways here this weekend. The men came away with a victory last night, 92-76. And before we talk about that, I'm going to talk about our postgame show. So you may have seen our postgame show last night. If you did, thank you. If you watched it live, you heard all about our contests we're having, our giveaways we're having with each postgame. So last night, if you watched it live, you had a chance to win a mini basketball signed by Jackson McAndrew, our player of the game last night. So Jackson was in our studio. He signed that ball. We picked a winner. All you have to do to win that is when you're watching our post games live, just enter some comments in the chat. Either a comment, preferably a question, helps us out to keep the show moving and rolling into new topics that maybe you guys are thinking of. And then we will pick, we kind of do it randomly, but we kind of look at, all right, who had a great question, who had a great comment, so on and so forth. And we will have a winner. You'll win, you could win a hat, a t-shirt, some kind of Jays gears. This is all sponsored by RTI Threads, our wonderful sponsor, not only of the Blue Jay Today, but also the postgame show. Then the second part of this is we're going to have a major prize. It could be a signed jersey tee. It could be an actual signed jersey. For this particular game, we had an actual signed jersey. It was a throwback Creighton Blue Jay ones, the white ones that they wore last year. And Jackson McAndrews signed that. So you have a chance to win an authentic Creighton jersey, Jackson McAndrews jersey, signed by Jackson. All you have to do here is on Friday, tomorrow morning, we're going to send out a post on X, Twitter, tweet on Twitter, whatever you go by. And we'll just say, hey, it's time for entering the drawing. All you have to do is retweet that post. And if you retweet that post, you're entered into the drawing. You must also, by the way, follow us on Twitter and more importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those three things you have to do to be able to win. Also, we'd really like you at the same time to subscribe to rtithreads.com. And I'm going to talk about them now. They were so terrific in everything they've done for us. They're the official sponsor of Blue Jay Banner apparel. They're going to get us some Blue Jay Banner swag we've got in the works right now. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get some t-shirts for giveaways and so forth. So check them out. Everything at rtithreads.com. They've got it all Creighton licensed apparel, hats, other gear, other accessories, Creighton related, and they have other team sports, other teams there as well. And besides that, they have other gear there as well. So go check it all out. rtithreads.com. Christmas is coming fast, guys. Time to get shopping. So go online and shop with rtithreads.com. Later on next year, probably spring, summerish, they're going to have a brick and mortar store. Wow, that's going to be fantastic. So check it out, rtithreads.com. And again, I'm going to repeat again. If you want to win that Jackson jersey, autograph signed Jackson McAndrews jersey, follow us on Twitter. You're going to see a tweet tomorrow. Contest open. All you got to do is retweet that tweet we put out and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter. Those three things, and you are in the drawing. There's no, it's not first come, first serve. You have a chance. We're going to leave it open all day, and we'll make the announcement on Friday evening who won the jersey. So be listening for that. So let's talk a little bit, just to recap. I mean, we spent an hour in the post game, and again, I'll put the link on this, the post game link if you missed it. I think we hashed pretty much over every player. We did have a chance after their show, obviously, to listen to Mac's post-game comments. He was asked about the players that didn't play, and we discussed this in our post-game as well. Jason Green had a concussion. It was a mild version, if there is such a thing, right? But he's got through the test. He was cleared actually yesterday. They just thought, hey, let's hold him out, which kind of hurt our rotation because Karim Konan was out last night, had to serve a 1-game suspension, if you will, from the NCAA because of the foreign deal. Let's not get into that. So, but he's back the rest of the season. So that kind of really limited us at the post. So we had JTT backing up. We had actually Isaac started at the post. Then Owen came off the bench, and then JTT played some. So we were kind of thin at that position last night. The other two guys that didn't play, Alexa is going to redshirt. That is 100%. He's going to redshirt. He's still a young guy. He's 7'1". He's still got some development. But I talked to somebody on Friday at the practice, and he has made a big a leap as anybody from when he got here to now. So he's really progressing nicely. So they're hoping that running through, being on the scout team, doing all those things, playing every day against Owen, and learning the Creighton system, the Creighton way, and then next year being a real force with Owen down low. So that's a big look ahead to the future. The other guy everybody's talking about is Hudson Greer. Now, we played 13 guys in the non-conference or exhibition schedule. We knew that was going to get whittled down to like 10, maybe. You're going to see probably 11 depending on injuries. Like last night, JTT got into the game quite a bit because A, he's been playing really well. B, we need some backup at that position. And I think you'll see that through the season. But they do have to make decisions on guys. Are they going to redshirt him? Are they not going to redshirt him? And right now they're in discussions in thinking about redshirting Hudson. They're not there yet. That's why they held him out last night. So if they're going to redshirt him, there's no problem. But I think that's got to, like Max said, it all comes down to Hudson and his family, his dad, Josh, who's a former D1 player. Like, is this in Hudson's best interest, or is it in better interest for him to try and power through this and work his way up the ladder and get into the rotation? Knowing full well, knock on wood, we hope not, but hey, look, we've seen it year after year after year here at Creighton. There are injuries that happen. And so, what does Hud want to do? What his family, what do they think is best? I know his family loves Creighton and is so happy Hudson came here. So I know Hud's been a great teammate. He works so hard in practice. So let's just see what happens. Could be a lot of different scenarios. But let's see what happens with him. And then that leads us to Gonzaga, right? Wow. So this is going to be really a tough go to go into Spokane in the kennel, and especially the way they played last night. It wasn't exactly the best performance we've ever seen, especially on the defensive end, especially on rebounding. Max said there wasn't the effort out there. I mean, there just we have to be tougher in a lot of situations. And, I said on the postgame last night, I thought a lot of those offensive rebounds South Dakota got were just balls that were just bobbling around and, making weird bounces. There was a lot of those. But, hey, that's back to the 50-50 thing, right? We talk about getting 50-50 balls. We need to get 50-50 balls. South Dakota got most of the 50-50 balls last night. And a lot of times that's just effort. So we've got to come back and get those balls, and I think things will turn around. Mac made a great point, and I was there too. We were stuck on like 24, 22, 24. It looked like we were ready to extend the game, and then we just went south. I think we only scored 14 points in the last 9 minutes. So we need to step on the gas there, and like Mac said, move it out to 35, and the game's over. I'm going to throw in something silly here that was discussed. I actually talked to, not one, but 2 different other coaches, one a head coach at other schools, who, because of my bracketology, asked me about, these games when you're playing these bye games, how much does score factor in? Well, we don't know the net. We don't know all the formulas in the net exactly. Goes by adjusted efficiency. It's capped at certain levels, but it's not capped at others. Typically what we have seen, though, over the last couple of years is teams that beat the brakes off teams in these bye games get a push. Iowa State comes to mind. They're the poster child for that. They play lower competition. They really don't challenge themselves unless they go on these MTEs and maybe one game that they have to play against somebody in some challenge. They just play. They know their Big 12 is going to be tough enough. They're going to get plenty of run as far as quality wins, and they just win and try and beat these teams as badly as they can, and it moves up some of their metrics. Some of them, like KenPom, a factor there is if you win a bigger margin than the point spread. So last night, the point spread was 29.5. We won by 16. So that would be, quote unquote, in that teeny tiny small part of the overall metric of your whole resume, a loss. okay, because and not a loss, but, you didn't live up to what the metrics, the point spreads, and, Ken Palm always has that expectancy thing, and it really falls pretty close to what the point spreads are, not to get into betting, but, I mean, that's what it is. So I think the goal in these games when you play buy games is to win as big as you possibly can. Don't worry about where the cutoff is or what you have to do. You've got to go as big as you can and try and win. Um, Definitely beat the point spread. Now we're playing Gonzaga. That doesn't matter. Uh, Gonzaga. The only thing that would come in here, obviously, be a quality road win because this is a road win. Not going to hurt you if you lose it. You're on the road. It's going to be a Q1 more likely than not. Um, the wob that was in vogue last year, and I know it's the second game of the year, and we're already talking about, oh my God, the resume. But hey, these games count just as much as those games in March. Uh, the wob is wins above bubble, and so you have to. What that means is basically what is the team you're playing, if they're on the bubble, did you beat them? Did you not beat them? How many wins did you have over the bubble? So obviously Gonzaga is going to be over the bubble. They're going to be on the right side of it more than likely. And so a win here really helps you out. Now, it's a tough place to play, tough place to win. So we'll talk more about that next week. And obviously, we'll also talk Monday about our Monday and Tuesday about our post game show. We're going to do a little different on the road this year. We're going to do remotely right here on the Riverside podcast platform. It's such an outstanding platform, allows us to do much more than we can do in studio, oddly enough. So we're going to be able to take your input and you can come on the show with us and give your thoughts and comments. And that on those road post games, that's going to be how you're going to win prizes from us from RTI Threads, Creighton gear, autograph gear, stuff like that. So that's how you're going to win. So coming on the show. So more on that next week. Going to be real simple. You just pop on, just like you always have on YouTube. There's going to be an email at the bottom. You send us an email and say, I have a comment. We will send you back a link and you jump on with us and away you go. It's very simple process. Tons of podcasts that I watch do it. As you know, big Minnesota Viking fan, their Purple Daily Show, their post game, they do it like that all the time. And it's awesome. They get a ton of people to jump in and they do the same thing kind of thing, give away things to viewers that pop on with them. And it's great to see everybody in their Creighton gear and where they're at and watching the game. And we're going to really, like, anybody that goes to these road games, we want them to jump on with us because that's where we really want. We want to see people that go to, say, Gonzaga and some of the Big East venues, if they can jump on with us. So at any rate, more about that Monday. Thanks for joining. Remember, big weekend Creighton sports. Women's soccer tonight, men's soccer tomorrow night, volleyball tomorrow night. So all that going on. Big weekend. Thanks so much to our sponsors, Infusion Brewing and RTI Threads. We love you, Matt. Get better. And we'll see you, as we said, tomorrow, a best of show. We'll see you next Monday. Thanks.